morning, everybody, and welcome to the Metal Magdalene with Jet right here on Metal Messiah Radio. Tonight we have a very special guest with us. We have drummer extraordinaire and current drummer for Vital Remains, Mr. James Payne, coming on to talk to us all the way from Italy tonight. Welcome to the show, James.
Oh yeah, thank you very much for having me.
So James, really quick, how old were you when you first took an interest in all this drumming stuff?
I was about 10 years old. I was very young. I was just listening to music and tapping on everything that was around me. I was driving my parents crazy, and everybody hated me because I was so loud every time. So they said, please just get a teacher, get a drum set, get a room where nobody can hear you, and go there. Stay there for hours. That's what I did.
So that kind of answers my question then. So you took some lessons. Did you go to any music schools or anything like that?
At the very beginning, there was this friend of my parents who gave me the first lessons, but they were very basic. Mm-hmm. I was very young, so I was around 10, so I couldn't even, understand what was going on. And then from there, I just started to playing with bands, and the first music I was playing was street punk, like UK Subs and Casualties or Exploited kind of stuff, And then from there, I just collaborated with bands. I went to a private school for a couple of years, but they were teaching me more jazz or those kind of music that I never listened to, and it wasn't my thing. So that didn't really give me anything, but yeah, maybe on the technical part it helped me in that period. And then in 2010 I started meeting with this friend of mine who is called Alessandro, and he was studying at Berkeley, and so he had a lot of very good information that we didn't have here in Italy. And we started to study together, and that's where all my teaching part came. All the my very how can I say, my lessons were just studying with this guy, and we started the drum house, the Drum Brother at first, and now it's called the Drum House, which was basically a YouTube channel where we would film all the practicing things that we were doing, and we'll share videos on it. And that's where I really studied and learned how to play drums.
So how would you describe your style of drumming?
I really just played music, and then I figured out I played a lot of many different kind of music. I played pop, I played punk, I played metal, I played death metal, I played a lot of different kind of music that are not even related to each other. And I can say you can play everything, you can practice and play everything, but you can express yourself only in one language at a certain point. So where I feel more comfortable and when I feel more spontaneous, when I write stuff, it's extreme metal. When I play death metal, the ideas just come out like that, and it's just my language. It's just easier for me to play. So my style, I think, is extreme metal drumming. That's what I feel more comfortable playing. But then I studied. I worked to be a professional musician, so I can play. I recorded pop albums or toured with punk band or everything. When you work, especially at the beginning of your career, you just get whatever comes on your way, and so I can technically play a lot of many different styles, but the one that I like the most is definitely death metal.
And you do a lot of clinics, and I assume you still do some lessons. What do you teach in your clinics and your lessons, like techniques and that kind of thing?
Yes, well, basically, I love doing clinics and lessons. It's something that I didn't know I liked that much since I started. Actually, at first I thought this is going to be boring and difficult because people's going to make a lot of questions, and I have to be prepared with everything, every single name, and then it's not like that. And basically, what I do in my clinics, I have a DVD out, The Secrets of Extreme Metal Drumming, and I usually just get some points of that DVD, get some of the contents, and I explain them in the clinics, and it's very technical. It's basically my approach on how to control your body, how to educate your brain, to send the exact message to your body to play in a certain way, and then, well, I applied on death metal, of course, because that's mainly my audience. You know, people that come in my clinics are usually people that listen to metal, to Vital Remains and stuff like that. So I applied everything on metal, but it's really, you can apply it on everything, every kind of music. So that's basically what I teach in clinics and when I do lessons. It's, technical parts, but I teach it in function of the music, not for the sake of, technique. It's something I always try to get to see, like, the personality of the guy that comes at the lesson, and I say, okay, you have to work in this way to feel more comfortable to express yourself in the best way, because technique is very personal. Everybody has to develop it in a certain way, based on their personality and based on other things. So, yeah, that's what I do.
Okay, well, you're endorsed by Tama now. What kind of kit are you currently playing, and how did this endorsement come about?
I am playing a Silver Star in the US. I have a Silver Star kit and Hyperdrive, Superstar Hyperdrive in Europe right now. And I started to collaborate with Tama 4 or 5 years ago. No, less than that, sorry, 3 years ago. And I started to collaborate with them through the Italian distributor at first. And then touring all over the world, I got in contact with the American offices and everything. So now I am endorsed, like officially endorsed worldwide by Tama.
Nice.
And the first thing, my first thing to collaborate with Tama was from the YouTube channel that I have, where we have like a couple of millions of views. So. Tama wanted us to support the idea, and they liked a lot all that we were doing, and they saw it was pretty followed, so they thought, we want to help and we want to be part of this. So we started to work from there, and then they saw that I was touring and doing a lot of things other than the YouTube channel, so they gave me a full contract and a full support, and that's very helpful, and I have to thank them a lot, because it's very difficult for a musician, especially when you travel, to feel comfortable playing on your instrument and playing on other instruments. And now that I can always use mine, even if I go to Australia, they support me. They send a kit, a Tama kit that I can use, and they make sure it's exactly what I want, and that's very helpful for me, and it's great to have that kind of support.
Now, do you keep the same basic setup to your drums, or do you get, excited with some new products coming out and like to switch things up a bit?
I should be excited about all products that come out, but I'm so lazy. I'm so focused on just learning how to play what I have under me in that moment. So I am not the gear nerd kind of drummer. I usually, when I go to the Zildjian factory and they tell me, well, choose what you need. I'm like, well, that, and that'll do. I mean, I'm that kind of guy, and I should be more, into gear stuff, but it's just, I don't know. It's more challenging to have something that doesn't play well, and you have to make it play well, rather than having, super cool stuff that you can play, you don't know how to play. So, but I chose my endorsement. I chose the companies to work with based on what I like, of course, not just randomly. So I chose Tama, Zildjian, Remo, and Big Fear because those were the brands that I always loved and I always bought when I didn't have an endorsement. So now being part of the family is great.
Well, I was going to just ask you that, too, about the Zildjian. So many freaking different products they have coming out year after year. And you said, you just kind of go out, yeah, I want that. Would you just have, like, your favorite pieces that you want always, all the time?
Yeah, I love the A Custom line. That's what I prefer to play. But then sometimes they've got some of the K the line. It's awesome. Some of the crashes that they have are very good. Let's say my favorite thing is the 14 inches hi-hat, A Custom hi-hat. That's definitely something that when I play it just feels different from all the other hi-hats and cymbals that I play. And the Chinas, they have the Oriental and the A Custom. That those two are definitely my favorite cymbals that I love to use.
Okay, so James, currently playing with Vital Remains, a band that has gone through a slew of different members. How'd you end up with them guys?
Basically, they needed a drummer, and we got in contact, and they wanted, someone who was professional and was committed to what they were doing. I was in Italy, and Italy it's such a small market, and so difficult sometimes to just get out of this country and get a worldwide fame. And plus, of course, Vital Remains is just it's just an historical death metal band that I always loved. So it was just the right timing for me, where I wanted to move on and then try to expand my career outside of Italy. And I think sometimes just things in life happen for a reason, and you have to read them and embrace what comes. And that I feel that's what happened. And when I started to play with them, it was just awesome. I mean, I feel like and having a new family, because every time you join a band, it's always a family or just a band, And when it's a family, it feels good, and everything. It's way better than just being in a band. And so I feel, being in a family now, and I was a fan of Vital Remains, and it was crazy because the band was started in '88, and I was born in '88. So the band is actually like old as I am. So it's crazy. I would never have thought that I ended up playing for Vital Remains, and that happened, and it's just like a dream come true,
And you just did a tour with them. You guys are doing a new album, and I see you're going back out on the road in October. What's it been like going out there playing with this somewhat controversial band out there?
It was an experience. It's always a challenge for me, because every time you join a new band, it's always you have to see if you're able to if you're as good as the drummers that have been in this band. And Vital Remains are particularly difficult to play because they're so fast, and drumming is crazy. So it was very challenging for me. But plus they are controversial. I mean, they've got their image and everything, and but I think that's very good. I mean, they just express themselves, and they're not afraid to show and to express what they think, and that's very important, because we know that in the business today, everybody's just sometimes attached to what's the thing of the moment. So everybody goes like, oh no, let's change our style, because now death metal isn't the best, the first music anymore, and we have to do more core stuff and blah blah blah. And they're just like, no, this is what I write, this is what we want to be, and we stick to our ideas. And so it's very good for that point, because I'm the same. I like to stay true to what what I play and what I wanted to express. And plus, we feel good to playing with each other. I mean, it feels good to when we play together. There's a good feeling. So it's like if you win on another challenge. So it was a positive experience, definitely.
So is there anything that you could tell us about the new album and what fans can expect, as there's not been a new Vital Remains album in over 7 years, so we're all kind of excited.
Yeah, I know, and that was another challenge. Yeah, but what to expect? It's just the Vital Remains sound, maybe with a little bit more, of technical kind of stuff, more Vital Remains is very, very old school kind of style, and with me and Dean, we're the young members now, and we bring a little bit of a new school of more technical things, and so we put it like a mix of these two things together, and I think it's great because you have some very old school riffs, but with the new school sound, and I think it just melts perfectly, and it's always brutal and very fast as usual. So expect just another great Vital Remains album. Hopefully, people will like it.
Now, do you have any idea about when they plan on releasing it?
We are working now. We wrote the songs, so it's we're working on the pre-production right now, and then hopefully we're gonna record it in late 2015 or early 2016, and it'll be out in 2016. That's what we're trying to do. But then, of course, all that part depends on studio recording and labels and all that part. That's always longer than what we expect. So hopefully in 2016 we'll release it. That's our idea, and that's what we're working hard for to do.
So in October, right, this year, once again, big U.S. tour for you guys. Now, is this a headlining tour that you guys are doing? Do you know?
We're still, it's all like they're booking everything, so everything is the shows. Some of the shows are confirmed, but we still don't have the 100% confirmed details, so I can't tell.
Okay.
But yeah, from what I know, we're gonna be on the road in October, and when the flyer and everything will come out, everybody will know what will happen, and we're gonna play a new song from the album, and maybe we'll have something already for I don't know, like pre-ordered or something for that period. So for sure, people are gonna have a preview of a new song, and so I think that's gonna be a good thing. We've been playing a new song in the last few tours that we did, but in the US we only did a short run in February or March. I don't remember right now. We're gonna hit different cities in this tour, so it'll be worth it in my opinion. So yeah.
So that tour, you're gonna be. How long are you gonna be back here in the United States? In a couple months?
Yeah, I'm gonna be back in the States for like second half of September, and we're gonna rehearse. We're gonna prepare everything for the tour, and then we're gonna go on the road. And then I'm gonna stay there because I live in Florida right now, so I came back in Italy on holiday after the European tour to stay with my family for a bit, and then but I'm happy to be in the States, and I want to stay there as long as possible, as much time as possible.
Nice. So, James, looks like you're a busy guy, so I'm going to let you get going. But thank you for taking the time out to do this interview with us here at the Metal Magdalene, and best of luck out on the road and all that flying and bus travel and everything else you're doing out there.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you for supporting the metal community, which is it's an awesome thing to do, and everybody should support the metal community because it's we know how to play our music and DJs don't, so that's very important in my opinion. So thank you again for having me, and stay metal.